It is one thing to talk and preach. It is quite another to act. The Kerala government and its apologists in the media and in the scientific community have been making apologies for Kerala's famed healthcare model and current state of COVID management for a long time. They continue to do that unmindful of the fact that Kerala is headed for a disaster zone and could kickstart the third wave in the country. And yet again, the same lot of apologists and critics of the central government continue to make apologies for the Taliban. They argue that Taliban 2.0 is the better deal and India should actively engage with them. As I said earlier, preaching is easy. People are dying in Kerala. COVID is out of control, and in Afghanistan, almost 200 people have lost their lives to a suicide bomber that some would like us to believe belonged to ISIS-K, but could turn out to be Taliban. But preaching is easy, and there is no dearth of these preachers in our country. They tell us how and what we should do in Afghanistan and why we should leave a very competent state government alone in Kerala to do what they are doing. Hi and welcome all to the CAA show. My name is Juggi Bhasin. CAA is of course conversations and analysis. Now let us first understand the situation in Afghanistan. We have an opportunity here to burnish our image in the world, which had been severely darkened by some wasted, inaccurate and prejudiced reporting of the pandemic in the second wave. So far as optics are concerned, things have gone well for us in Afghanistan. We have handled the evacuation of our nationals very well. We have also given safe passage to Afghan Muslims. Many of them are friends in that country. This development has not gone unnoticed in the world. And without shouting over the rooftops, the importance of the CAA legislation has been proven to many, especially to the army of anti-CAA dissenters in the country. More importantly, we have maintained a safe distance from the Taliban and have not rushed in to recognize them or appease them or even engage with them. The so-called back-channel talks with the Taliban in Doha were to extricate our nationals from that country. Nothing more and nothing less. We have, I think, with great wisdom, discarded advice of persons like Ambassador Kachu and Professor Radha Kumar and security experts like Colonel Ajay Shukla, who have been advocating that we should engage with the Taliban to negate Pakistan's influence over them. Sometimes I wonder which planet these people live on. A terrorist is a terrorist is a terrorist. It goes by interchangeable names like Taliban, ISIS-K, Al-Qaeda, Daesh, etc. Pakistan's ISI is the creator, funder and benefactor of these groups. It is mommy and daddy for these groups. When you are in trouble, you don't go to the neighbor, which is India. You go to mommy and daddy. It is as simple as that. Trust me when I say Pakistan over the next few years will have its hands full in dealing with its bloody, violent spawn which it has sired. Entire tracts of territory both in Afghanistan and Pakistan will be destabilized. We would be crazy to jump into the AFPAC region, into that seething cauldron. I would not be surprised that by the end of it, the entity known as Pakistan, far from being the satrap of AFPAC and Central Asia, would have splintered into warring territories ruled by terrorist warlords. The Americans know this, and that is why they are pulling out. If, for a moment, we ignore their mishandling of their evacuation process, then both in theory and practice they have taken the right decision. You can't descend in a pit of snakes, take them out and then release them in their natural habitat. The pit is their natural habitat. You will only end up by getting bitten by those snakes. India should use this opportunity to engage more with the United States and forge closer ties with them. The Americans out of the region could fall back on Pakistan and the ISI for actionable intelligence. We need to prevent that development. The US might or might not have been a reliable partner for some, but we can be a reliable partner for the US because eventually it will only help us in so many ways. And now to Kerala. More than 30,000 cases a day with 19% positivity rate. There is every possibility a new variant, something like a Delta Plus variant, could come out from there and spread the third wave all over the country. If the central government thinks the Kerala government will wake up and introduce tough measures to curb the spread, then forget it. The Kerala government and many of its apologists know only how to criticize the central government, the governor of Kerala, and not much else. It is uncanny that the worst managed states in the second wave were the opposition ruled states of Maharashtra and Delhi. And if a third wave starts, no prizes needed for guessing that it will begin from which opposition ruled state. Thing is, all those opposed to the central government, including the Kerala government, have confused a health emergency with politics. The government, that is the central government, need not do that. If need be, they should rush more medical teams to that state, quarantine districts, if not the whole state, and increase vaccinations there tenfold. The central government has vast powers to do that under the Epidemics Act. Let the free advice givers continue with their worthless posturings. The government needs to stay the course in Afghanistan and change the course in Kerala to bring sanity to the proceedings. So, on that note, it's goodbye from me. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Do keep watching the CAA show and please do subscribe to us. And on that note, it's a good night and cheers from me.